It is 7th day of the month of June 2023. A very good morning to you wherever you are catching the show live from. Today is Wednesday and my name is Denis Oringi and this is KOKOLIRIKO Live. It's a program that comes your way every Monday through Friday right here on Westnile Television. We are coming to you live from the broadcast house of Westnile Television here in Arua City, plot 39A, Weather Park Lane. My name is Denis Oringi and you can follow me, my Twitter handle right there. We shall be getting, we started with the local stories that we have for you this morning, what you need to know right here in Western sub-region, and also we shall be getting to Ashuli sub-region as well, and also we shall be able to know what is happening at the national level. But on a sad note, I have to let you know that Uganda is mourning the death of one, historical politician in this country. We are talking about the former member of parliament, Katolugwama, is dead. It's quite unfortunate right there. And so that is something that you need to know right this morning. And so it's quite unfortunate that we have lost the former member of parliament, Katolugwama. I will be diving into that story later. But before that, let's start from Arua City here, where the patients visiting Arua Regional Referral Hospital for radiology services now have to show smartphones as a requirement to access their results. According to the authorities, this is aimed at reducing cost on consumables, ensure high level of confidentiality, and ensure adaptation to the changing global electronic systems. Frederick Dramadri has the full report about this. Let's hear and watch.
Several patients seeking for radiography services at Arua Regional Referral Hospital were turned away following their failure to secure smartphones to access their results. Arua Regional Referral Hospital has moved away from the previous manual system of printing results on papers to a more electronic one, which is transmitted to the patient's smartphones after the hospital received the modern equipment as part of the 31.6 billion Ugandan shillings outpatient department facility from the Japanese government in 2021. This has left many of them who do not have the devices in hunger for the services. A number of the persons who feared to appear on the camera revealed that they have no options but to go back home and look for an alternative of seeking for the same services in private facilities. But Tabu Fred, the Deputy Speaker of Arua City, who luckily enough had a smartphone, shares his experience.
It did not give me a good explanation of why they cannot print out for me the hard paper or what was wrong with my back. So up to now, I still have it in my smartphone. Now I ask myself, if somebody has no smartphone, supposing a mother from all the way from Ayuvu or down from Ori or from Bara who does not have a smartphone comes for this particular service, what exactly is going to happen to such a mother? So I needed that answer. If the hospital administration can give us that answer of why they cannot print out, I don't know the line of this happen. If they cannot print out those things for further analysis, what will happen to a patient? Because I saw like 3 people who were turned off because they did not have a smartphone. So
Atayo Paul, a businessman in Arua City, challenged government to be considerate in accommodating technological changes in service delivery.
First of all, a person doesn't know even how to use this smartphone. 2, it is difficult to afford. It is expensive. The smartphone ranges, the best one ranges from 300 to 1 million, the best smartphone. 3, I know getting results through the smartphones. It is a good idea. But imagine we have some people from the village who cannot know how to operate, who doesn't have a smartphone. Definitely, you are going to expose your risks.
This transformation is expected to furthermore affect services of X-ray, ultrasound, and CT scan, which are being electronically linked within the hospital. According to the hospital director, Dr. Alex Antema, this is aimed at coping up with the global electronic systems and ensure confidentiality.
We send it to somebody's phone. That person is able to, he knows how to use his phone, and he should be able to access. Or maybe the family member, they could know how to help. You cannot just send it anyhow. You first agree can we send it to your phone? Or you come and read it.
Records from Arua Regional Referral Hospital indicate that the hospital has managed to provide services through electronic means to over 200 patients using the modern CT scan. Frederick Tramadri, Westnile TV, Nilecast.
All right, that is the matter to do with adaptation of the technology right there. I am wondering how my mother will be able to access her result if she is to visit that particular department of radiology, and also the other poor woman and the poor man from that village. And so I believe that the hospital will be considerate in considering both parties, those who have the smartphones and those who do not have the smartphones, so that access to service delivery, health service is really non-discriminatory right there. What happens to the disabled persons who have things to do with the impairment, and then, you know, a person with a visual impairment, how will the person be able to understand the results that will be generated from the x-rays right there? Away from that, top leadership of Democratic Party, one of the oldest political parties in this country, Uganda, have embarked on the nationwide tour of improving on the party structures from the grassroots to the national level. The team has been in Westnile trying, among others, to explain to the public the NRM-DP cooperation agreement signed last year between President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and the Democratic Party President General Norbert Mao. Emmanuel Agele reports on this.
Members from the topmost Democratic Party, led by the National Organizing Secretary, Herbert Rutaguera, visited Westnile sub-region to create party structures for the full participation ahead of the 2026 general elections and to give an understanding about the NRM-DP cooperation agreement of July 2022 between President Museveni and Norbert Mao.
We are basically here for two things today. The first one is definitely to get in touch with our members. We have to interact with our members, we have to get their thinking and tell them what is at the headquarters. That's the first question.
When asked on the cooperation agreement between the party and the ruling NRM party, he says many people did not understand on how decision has been arrived at, that he thinks should be shared among members of the public for them to know the terms of the agreement.
This cooperation agreement is not open-ended. It was signed in July last year, and it must last the term of this parliamentary term. So what is this cooperation agreement about? Basically, there are only four objectives, and they are totally in line with the thinking of the party. Number one, dialogue and reconciliation. That's an objective of the cooperation agreement. That's why we signed an agreement with Museveni. We want dialogue, national dialogue. We think things are not right, and we must sit down and talk to everyone. Objective number two, electoral reform. Because we believe that the election ground needs to be level. The competition is not level. So we need some reforms to our electoral system to have them reformed. Objective number three, constitutional reforms. I think we all agree that there are some aspects of our constitution that actually are undemocratic, I would say, or the entire democracy, true democracy. So we need these ones changed. Now these three, once put in place together, definitely they will give us the fourth objective, which is a peaceful transition.
The president of the Women League, Waligo Aisha, has assured the women that the safest place to be is Democratic Party, and engaging in a dialogue is the best way to protect the women of Uganda.
As the president of the Women's League, I'm here specifically to continue working on the women's structures, to begin on the process of candidate identification for the women who are going to stand in 2026 as a means, as a mandate given to me by the Constitution of the Democratic Party. But again, on the big note, I've come here to bring joy to the people of West Nile, especially the women, the men, and all our husbands, that today, Democratic Party becomes the safest place for all women politicians in Uganda. When you could not give your women to any political party, thinking that they are not protected, thinking that they are not conducive, thinking that they are not safe for your women to contest as politicians, that Democratic Party has recently launched a policy against sexual harassment. That means your women, your sisters, your mothers, and your daughters are safe with DP. We are telling all women that politics is for us, and nothing can be for us without us. For the country like Uganda, that has not seen a peaceful transfer of power, it is time for us to negotiate with the ruling government to ensure that there is peace in this country and there is transfer of leadership. That is what we believe in as the women from the Democratic Party.
Looking at Uganda being bigger than all of us, the Vice President of Eastern Region, Sammy Gilbert, has pleaded that they as leaders should leave a peaceful country for the next generation, as their past has not been so pleasant.
This is our effort, and also a responsibility that we owe Ugandans, that we are ready to work with every person who is thinking of peace. Any person who is thinking of delivering Uganda and letting us live the way we think we should be governed. We are not working for any RMs, as my past speakers have said, but we are only helping NRM to get back on track where they have gone wrong, because they should protect and serve Ugandans. When they go astray, we have to put them right. It's a responsibility as citizens.
Today where we stand, we need to do a self-reflection as Ugandans. Leave alone the political class. The foundation should be the ordinary Ugandan. How does the ordinary Ugandan want to see his or her own country? We need to see a country where we are always fighting with our brothers and sisters, or a country where we dialogue, listen to each other, and we are ready to be critical.
Meanwhile, the Vice President for Northern Region, Alitia Elia, has said, despite their few numbers, they have always stood on the truth and justice for all.
The Democratic Party, like members have already said, is a party that strongly believes in the values of truth and justice. And we have been professing these values, irrespective of how few we have been on ground. I therefore want to call upon all of you to stand proud and very tall as we execute this very important activity of elected leaders and structures, and also with the blessing of our leaders who are here, the National Organizing Secretary, who according to our Constitution holds the powers to be the one forming these structures. And for the public who will be listening to us, please, the outcome of this activity will come out of leaders who are approved by the highest order of the DP, which is the National Executive Committee.
Lemeriga Fadil, the spokesperson for Democratic Party Northern Region, takes pleasure in the party for being the only party that has handed over power peacefully. He further says having party structures from the topmost to the lowest level will help them to reduce on the election irregularities come 2026.
Today, we are improving on the party structures. Very few of us have been running the party at executive level. So today we are going to formally, under the stewardship of the National Organizing Secretary, under whose constitutional mandate it is to conduct these elections. So today the highest and most person in the DP is going to oversee these elections here. So they are going to carry the weight of the DP constitution. So people are going to go home with the mandates. They know that they have roles to play. That is actually why we have gathered here this evening.
The revisionation and restructuring of the Democratic Party structure in Westnile sub-region is being attended by party members and leaders from Koboko, Maracha, Arua District and Arua City. Emmanuel Agele, Westnile TV Nilecast.
All right, thank you very much, Emmanuel Akele, for that report. It should be noted that the NRM signs a cooperation agreement with DP on 20th of July 2022, where the National Resistance Movement Party signed a working cooperation agreement with the Democratic Party at State House in Tebe on 20th July 2022. And for those who can really forget, I need to remind you right there. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, also the national chairman of the NRM, signed on behalf of the party, while Democratic Party President General Honorable Norbert Mao signed on behalf of the Democratic Party. And we did see after the signing this cooperation agreement, Norbert Mao appointed as the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs of the Republic of Uganda. And President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, after signing the agreement, congratulated Honorable Mao upon agreeing to work on steering DP to work with the NRM. He noted that this is something that should have happened at the top administrative level long ago. And quoting him, by that time, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, he says, "You know the history. I keep telling you that DP without Museveni is not a serious group because I was a very active member of DP." He said right there. And so the president said that DP had good quality and was definitely sincere and more straightforward than other parties. And so His Excellency Museveni said he was very happy with this milestone, saying that all this time, although DP has been supporting opposition, they have not been destructive right there. And so quoting President Museveni verbatim, he said here, although DP has been in the opposition, they have not been destructive. They criticize but are not destructive, he says. And so if President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is able to recognize that the people criticize but they're not destructive, and so that means that it's not wrong to criticize, but how critic are you in your criticism right there? It's always good to criticize because it acts like balance, checks and balance in different institutions of life. And so you can decide to criticize, but let it be positive one that can make somebody correct him or herself to make things move. Right. Okay. On his part, the Democratic Party President General Norbert Mao appreciated the milestone on behalf of his party, saying that this is a continuous journey which started before some of them were born. And so he told President Museveni that he now has the historical opportunity to gather party members scattered all over Uganda. And so you must look for them wherever they are in all the political parties and all in the corners of Uganda, Mao said. So he said the DP is committed to adhering to what has been agreed upon, and that is a living document that should continue growing. And so Mao said the documents signed shows that they have managed to resolve the contradictions that they have been having. And so he saluted President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for the courage that he exhibited all through and risk he has taken, saying that President Museveni is the captain of the ship called Uganda, and that is it is important to pray for Museveni as he leads Uganda. And so these are words of the President General of Democratic Party. Remember, after signing the cooperation agreement between NRM and also DP, there are a number of disgruntled DP party members who criticized Norbert Mao. But where are they now? They all went silent because the President General has already spoken and he has already signed the cooperation agreement. And they are continuing. And that's why they are having the nationwide tour to have consultations and also reorganize their party structures right from the grassroots up to the national level as they prepare for 2026. And remember, all the political parties are in preparation for 2026. And remember, we are already in 2023, apparently remaining only something like 2 years for us to get done with this 5 years term that the current government is serving. So we are looking forward to seeing what will really happen that will be in 2026. And remember, the political journey starts now, not in 2025. And so the political journey for 2026 started immediately after the declaration of the results. And so those that have been given the position, they started preparing their ground for 2026. And I've been told that people are doing consultations silently, even if the Electoral Commission has not yet declared that people should really do consultation. And so something that is that you need to know right there. All right, let's have more stories right there away from West Nile to actually sub-region. Let me tell you that the Western City Commissioner Gulu delivered 300 360 million Ugandan shillings to women groups in Gulu City. This is part of the presidential pledge that he committed himself during his wealth creation tour in Asholi sub-region. Each group will be getting 300,000 shillings, according to Resident City Commissioner Gulu. The president is piloting sending the money directly to women groups as an alternative means of other government's program right there. And so I think that is good news for the women groups that are in Gulu. Remember, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni promised during the time that he was for the wealth creation tour in Asholi sub-region, and finally the 306 million has been delivered right there. And so remember, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni also committed himself to some groups of people here in Westnile sub-region. So we will be waiting, more especially the artist who requested President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni to finance them, finance them with some money so that they can really set up, state-of-the-art studio for both audio and video. And President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni said that is not much money. He can really work out, and he gets that money and presents. So maybe the artists that we have in Westnile and plus other groups that President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni committed himself to supporting, they will be waiting for their money as well. And not forgetting journalists as well. Remember, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni invited journalists from Westnile to visit him at his farm in Kisozi. And so the journalists are also waiting when the bus will come to ferry them, because President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni said that a bus is enough for Westnile journalists to go and visit him in his farm in Kisozi, where they will have that chats and conversations on a number of issues here in Westnile and also in this country, Uganda. And so Westnile journalists are waiting for that moment. And so this is also to remind those that are too close to President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni that President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni promised the journalists from this region that he will be meeting them in one of his farms that here in this country, Uganda. And I can remember his word vividly, because I was also part of those who met him. And so I'm proud and happy that I will not die a man who has never met his president. I will die a man who has met his president. And so I am proud and I'm happy that I met my president. And so you can also strike a balance and see how you can really reach the president of the Republic of Uganda. And so if you're a citizen of this country and you have never gotten that opportunity to see the president of the Republic of Uganda, then you have to work out how you can really meet him. When I was in primary and secondary, there are some words in mathematics that I hated. Work out, change to base, simplify, evaluate. Those words were really very complicated words. And so if you want to meet President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, you have to remember your mathematics word or words like evaluate, work out, simplify. And so if you want to simplify things and you reach the State House, it's very simple. Use the leaders that you have elected. They will show for you way. And allow me to thank those who were able to connect the journalists from Westnile with President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for that meeting that happened right here, just a stone throw from where I am right now, the Presidential State Lodge. And we are still waiting when he will be coming back. Maybe he will come back in 2025. Let's have that story from Gulu, the story about the women groups receiving 306 million that President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni promised and delivered by the Resident City Commission of Gulu City.
Joy as women in Gulu City jubilee receiving presidential pledge. The money is meant to strengthen the existing women group who are already into VSLA.
It will add on to our capital, and it will raise up our loaning threshold, whereby a member who normally borrow money less will automatically this time will borrow full.
Jennifer Ballo appreciated the president for fulfilling his pledge. She said government should come up and support their dreams of becoming a bigger financial institution that can support their fellow women.
Madoko sako madiet paruaro la gombe sako madiet madong ka ga meta bi metu yetwa kero wadong ko yele mi jarma kayinyo dem ka kam ken ma papa no yele members ma megwa.
Peloya Kevin, the chairman of Kachelo Twayaro group, advised fellow women to remain submissive to their spouses despite being more empowered than their men.
Your husband, because you're financially empowered than him, it's not really right. It's better to be submissive, however much money you have.
Agnes Akelo, the councillor for Bahadege Layivi Division, Gulu City, said this money is meant to benefit some of the women who are not benefiting from other government programs like PDM.
And I requested for money for grant for my people in Bahadege, because as leaders we are seeing that there's program that come out like the government program that it will take long to reach our people. For example, like PDM.
Gulu City RCC, Jane Francis Ukili, who delivered this money to this group, urges these women to use the money to support their members in groups.
They should multiply this money. They should use this money for the right cause. But I also trust in these groups, because initially there is some 100,000 they got from the Right Honorable Richard Todwong, and they used it very well.
The RCC says this as she delivered part of the 306 million to 1,767 women in Bahadege Layivi Division, who is part of the 1,000 women groups that was meant to benefit from this presidential pledge. Stephen Open, reporting for Westnile Television, Nilecast.
All right, thank you very much, Stephen Okello, for that report from Gulu. If you want to see happiness in the women that are in Ashole sub-region, give them money. If there are women groups that are very organized, then they are found in Ashole sub-region. Right after the war, the women started reorganizing themselves, and remember they were in the internal displaced camps for decades, and so they felt it is important that they really get organized. They have to reorganize themselves, and even when they were in the internal displaced camps in actually northern Uganda, these women could really organize themselves in groups, and that is why when it comes to women groups in Uganda, I do not know whether we have a sub-region in this country that women are very organized than the women that we have in Ashole sub-region. They have understood the impacts of the war, and so they feel it is important for them to really regroup themselves, and so that they are able to benefit from some of the government programs. If we are talking about benefits, benefiting from different government programs that we have in this country, Uganda, then the women groups in Ashole, they have testimonies to really testify. I'm speaking this because I have been with these women, and I know what they're doing, how they are achieving in life. And go to Gulu main market and try to ask for women groups. You will be able to get over 1,000 women groups that have been created within that Gulu central main market that is in Gulu City. Come to Westnile, there are pockets. Other districts are trying to reorganize the women, but you find that after receiving the body, they are disintegrated. They are not really together, and their unity is not all that strong. And they always say, together we stand, divided we fall. And so the women in Gulu, the women in Ashole sub-region, go to Kirgum, go to Agago, go to Lamore. You will be able to testify this. Come to Amuro, and also try to reach Nwaya. And as for women groups, they are ready, and they have all documents that are required. And it is very easy for government of the Republic of Uganda to really support these women groups. And congratulations to the Ministry of Northern Uganda, the Minister of State for Northern Uganda, Honorable Kuyishin Grace Freedom, for always preaching to these women the importance of getting organized in groups. And so some other women can also really learn from those women groups. And you saw the number in Gulu when the money was being given out by, that is the resident city commissioner of Gulu, Franklin, right there. And so we pray that the money is really properly put into good use. The women group in Kanyagoga, the women group that is in For God, the women group around that is Badege, we believe that you will be able to properly use this money. Allow me to say this in Luo. Atamani chilling magimini uanoni rombere kar miti ukede mabe. Kadebeti al mia dek magimi ki group mapapat rombere kar menano kid machiling rombere kar minya kede and ka chilling makumano gimio to kere wani ano jemi chilling mu aki bodgamente ma wabeki kar mi shamul atunya pekumano ma waneni chilling ani wati ukede mabe wapo ni jo magramo bere kar bidwa ko chilling ani ki bankari no ni chilling bere kar mi bino mini wa group ma pat and talk gen ma bini wi watini ma ko chilling wapo wa chama kumano ko alimia de kauti group ma welu perash oramo bere kar mi tiyu ki chilling ani mi medo ko biashara ma megu ni juma noti ka charo nyanya ichuk irombe di kare menti singali mia chel nyokali piera beach iramo mako kenyanya mukane share ke chuk ani juma tika charla chidi ko le irombe di kare no bawel pala chidi mo maro maria onyo adek iramo chako ki kwa kumeno kwa peyot ento kare mon beri kare mi yele full ni nano ket ma grand beri kare mi lago ke kwa ma megi kachel kwa palatini gi man ki ko palugangi en magoneni yawati gishilingana mabe wa foyo matak gamente mi ngome Uganda man la dit lobo yiweri ka gota musabeni pi twala chiling man eni million mia dek kabichel ma oberi kar mi cheke kar me beri kar mi watite me actually mi nyoro kidano kid ma grand beri kar mi wenya ko kom chan na tamani lok paladit lobo beru lok manoti ye gidano non chalo lok udano man chiling magi keloni bibede kare bi konyu mabe foy matak atamani obed mano chunyu tak ni gamente tamu piwu man bi mete bene katamu piwu. All right, dear viewer, let's get to that is Zombo district, where we have Zombo district council unanimously agreed to have by the PTC be taken over by Chambogo University, one of the Uganda's public universities that we do have. Something that has not gone well with the Nebi Anglican Diocese, which is the founder of the defunct college, that government stops its operation some 2 to 3 years due to the ongoing implementation of the teacher policy of having primary school teachers who are graduates. Let's have more on that story.
Following the resolution by Zombo District Council to welcome government's plan to open Chambog University branch and study center at Paida Primary Teachers College, the Bishop of Nebi Anglican Diocese, Right Reverend Pons Ozela Winju, has advised that Paida Teachers College should not be phased out, but government should have affirmative actions to help learners from Greater Nebi. While responding to the Zombo District Council resolution made last month, Ozela revealed that as the foundation body, they are ready to welcome Chambogo University, and the government should maintain Paida Teachers College as core PTC, among others.
The program, it has decided that Paida PTC be one of the PTCs phased off. In their normal program, they invited all the stakeholders. They invited the government of Zombo, district local government. They invited Carl Pobemo, which is a big stakeholder, and they invited the Church of Uganda, which is the foundation body. We sat down with them in a meeting. I'm happy that I personally went as the bishop to represent Church of Uganda. I'm happy that even the chairman LC5, Uyulu, attended in person for the council, and Obemu Keralur sent Jaldipo, who came, a big person. When we were asked our views as stakeholders, we unanimously,
as executive, we sat and we resolved, and forwarded,
to council that Paida Primary Teachers College be handed over to Chambogo University. Why? Because Chambogo University is one of the government education institution which awards degree, diploma and other courses respectively. Therefore, we have seen that is a accredited institution which can be best handle all other courses which will eventually help and also assist our people of Zombo, Greater Nebi and West Nile at large. Council of Zombo District Local Government anonymously approved the resolution and requested Chambogo University to take over Paida Primary Teachers College and bring other courses which will benefit our children.
Paida Primary Teachers College in Alisi Thungu, Dunga Ward, Paida Town Council was established in 1982 at Mvogom under Church of Uganda Foundation, and it is among other PTCs being phased out by the Ministry of Education and Sports under the guidelines of higher education. For Westnile TV, Alfred Jawoko, Nilecast.
All right, thank you very much, Alfred Jawoko, for that report. And you have seen distractions at Paida PTC, that is in Paida Town Council, Zombo District, right there for you. And I believe that the government of the Republic of Uganda will be able to make good use of that facility, those facilities that at former Paida PTC. Currently it's not a PTC. There's no education or there's no learning that is taking place right there, because government of the Republic of Uganda is trying to phase off the PTCs that we have in this country, only having the core PTC, implementing the diploma program and also degree programs right there for you. And so that's something that I need to bring to your attention. All right, away from Zombo, let's come to Nebi District, where the territorial police of Nebi District are investigating an incident of murder on witchcraft allegations where Period Godfrey, 48 years of age, allured by tribe resident of Warofo village, Mbaro East Ward, Nyaravut Town Council, Nebi District, was murdered over witchcraft allegations which occurred on 1st of June 2023. The Westnile Police spokesperson, Josephine Angoshe, is urging the general public to alert the police in case of allegations of criminalities in the area, and suspected criminals should be handed over to police for investigations. This is not the first time that we are hearing this kind of story and getting this kind of story from Nebi District when it comes to murdering somebody as a result, who is alleged or who was alleged to have really practiced witchcraft in the areas of his jurisdiction. So it's quite unfortunate right there. Let's hear more from the police spokesperson for Western Sub-Region, Madam Josephina Angushe.
It's true that the territorial police of Nebi District are investigating an incident of murder on witchcraft allegations, whereby one called Piroth Godfrey, 48 years of age, and Aluru by tribe, peasant farmer, resident of Warathum village, Mbaro Eastward, Nyaravu Town Council, Nebi District, was murdered over witchcraft allegations on his wife, who survived by running away. This occurred on 1st June 2023 at around 7:30 p.m. in the evening at his home in the same village. When this information reached police, our officers who visited the scene conveyed the body to Nebi General Hospital mortuary for post-mortem, and investigations started straight away. Suspects are yet on the run, but police has already got information about the suspects who participated in this gruesome act of murdering a man from the same village. So as I speak, investigations are ongoing under Nebi CRB 372 of 2023. as we investigate, we would like to urge members of public to desist from mob action, because acts of mob action are not only criminal, but they are barbaric. And we have seen that innocent people end up suffering the consequences of mob action when actually they have not participated in the actual action which the mob might have considered wrong. So we always urge members of public to use the government structures on ground to help them handle their matters. We have police posts in every sub-county. In case of allegations of criminalities within an area, police should be alerted, and the suspected criminals should be handed over to police for proper investigations, and from police such people will be forwarded to court for appropriate punishment, because punishment given by mob is not always appropriate. You find that the matter is minor, but the mob will always make sure they take away the lives of such people, and this is not really accepted by our law. And besides that, very innocent people end up suffering because of mistakes made by some other people within their vicinities or within the same villages. So for that matter, we really urge people to desist from mob action.
All right, you have heard right there from the police spokesperson for Western Sub-Region, Madam Josephine Anguche, in regards to the murder on witchcraft allegations right there in Yaravur, Angal Town Council, Nebi District. And so it's quite unfortunate right there when it comes to the issue of murder, over the allegations of witchcraft. This is very common in Nebi and Zombo and Pakwash. And so I do not know what can be done to see that people are really properly sensitized. Community policing, I think Westnile Police region should really look into community policing, the other side of Nebi, and so if possible, people need to be sensitized, people need to be talked to get to understand situation. Sometimes we forget that death is for all of us, and when somebody has died, we tend to link the death, of the death of somebody to somebody on allegations that the person is the one who is behind the death of this particular person. Let me tell you, all of us, we know ourselves. Me as Dennis Oringi, I know where my problems are in terms of sickness and also other issues. You yourself also, you know your own problem. But it's quite unfortunate that we tend not to share our problems to the people that are close to us. And so if we are now bedridden and we cannot really speak, we leave rooms for our people to begin guessing and alleging, because you have not spoken out. And so I request those who are not feeling well, if you have complications, please communicate to your next of kin, or maybe any of your family members, and so that the person is able to get to understand and explain to others that no, this person is sick, his sickness is A, B, C, D. And once that is explained to people, this issue of allegation of witchcraft and other stuff, I know there are some there are circumstances that result in somebody's death. They're also there, but it's important that we should use that inner mind of ours to really get to look at each and everything. So let God give us that eye for us to understand that death is real, and nobody is here to stay forever and ever. We shall die. Even me, I will die, but not now. You understand? And so if I die, I don't want people to be alleging ABCD, but if the death is caused by somebody or by shooting, it is easy to say he was shot by so and so. And so if the person was admitted at the hospital, and the hospital the health workers at the hospital have tried their level best to work on the person, and even we as the community members, we have understood very well that this person has been in the hospital, we still go back and we begin alleging, not knowing that there are complications. We are like any other living things, and so we're supposed to die as one of the characteristics. And so But if the person has been shot, the person has been attacked, it is easier to know that, so Oringi Denis was attacked by so-and-so, Oringi Denis was shot dead by so-and-so. That one, reporting it becomes very easy. Even my family members will be able to understand that Denis was shot. You know, Oringi was shot. Oringi was attacked. And that is very simple. But in a situation where somebody is not, you know, has the person died from the hospital and the person has been sickly, I think that alone should tell us that this person has not been well. And so you find that an innocent old man, an innocent old woman, and in most cases the old women and the old men are the victims of these allegations of witchcraft. And it's quite unfortunate. Right there. All right, dear viewer, let's go to Moyo District, where private school teachers and proprietors were trained yesterday on teacher effectiveness and learners achievement system, dubbed as Stellar system, that government of the Republic of Uganda through Ministry of Education and Sports introduced to monitor teachers' attendance and also pupils' attendance and the effectiveness of teaching or learning in different schools that we have in this country, Uganda. And so the training took place at the Education Resource Center in Moyo. That attracted a number of schools ranging from primary, secondary and tertiary institutions. And so the purpose of the training is to enable school management exchange information amongst themselves and all the education stakeholders through a mobile device and improve the teachers' effectiveness and learner achievement at the end of the day. Let's have more on that.
If a teacher comes to school at 8 a.m., he signs in the software and it is recorded with his details or her details. The head teacher does the same. And then the teachers on duty are supposed to also capture and record electronically the attendance of all learners. And this is recorded. Meanwhile, for the head teacher, he also records the effectiveness of teaching and learning in every class on a daily basis, and each of these electronic records go into archive and it is recorded automatically. School level reports are generated.
We are very appreciative of the training conducted at the office of DIS Moyo about Teller, an online way of monitoring performances and our activities in the schools. And I think this is a timely input for us, the private schools who have been left behind. Most importantly, it's going to improve monitoring attendance of the teachers, attendance of the school children, and all the activities in the schools. This is very good input. Perhaps we wait for a full training, which we agree will be late July or early August in the same office. And matters of technology is very important. I urge all the school, the private schools to take it positively and enroll for the Teller programs.
This is a system whereby we use a mobile phone to monitor the quality.
All right, I have heard from different teachers and school heads who have been trained on that Stellar system that government of the Republic of Uganda through Ministry of Education and Sports introduced to really monitor teachers' attendance and effectiveness of learning and teaching in different schools that we have in this country, Uganda. And so that's something that you need to know. And so as education stakeholders, we have a role to play to see that this system is really working efficiently and effectively. So if you have a primary school that you have your children that are really learning in sport, you can just take your time and just go there and ask the teacher to avail you with the smartphone. And so government has really provided smartphones for these schools for the teachers to always come. So the attendance is not the ordinary attendance that teachers could come and just register. After registering, climb on his or her motorcycle, fires off from the school, and he or she goes for border business. This time around, you all have to really enter, and at the end of the day, you have to sign out. And so if you have not even, if you sign out before the time that has been set, the system will not accept you to sign out, you understand. And so this system is always with the teacher. And so this makes it easier for the teacher to really monitor the teachers as they really come to school and deliver their lessons as it has been planned. And so there's no way that you are going to go behind the teacher and you begin signing out. It is the teacher to give you the phone, and that means that also this controls the movement, the unnecessary movements of the teachers that we always witness. And so this also ties the teachers in their schools, and because the teachers have to sign out at the end of the day, that means that the phone has to be with a person who is responsible, either the deputy head teacher or the head teacher. So if the head teacher is not going to be around, the phone has to be left behind with the deputy head teacher for other teachers to come and sign out at the end of the day. There's no way that you're going to sign out one because you're done with the day. It is impossible. And so that system is a very nice system, is a very good one, and this really improves teaching and also learning at the same time. And so I believe that other teachers who have not been trained and also the education stakeholders should be trained so that they are able to really monitor the teaching and learning in their schools. Okay, last one right here this morning. For this particular time, the Inspector General of Police, John Martin Sokoto Shola, has promoted 9,312 officers at different ranks. Now, in a statement released on Tuesday morning, Deputy Police spokesperson Pauline Amaye said the promotions were based on a number of aspects and that the police chief deemed fit to have the officers elevated in rank. And so she noted that 1,145 assistant inspectors were promoted to inspector, 5 head constable majors to inspector, 28 station sergeants to head constable, 1,531 from sergeant to assistant inspector of police, 2,644 from corporal to sergeant, and 3,956 from the rank of constable to corporal in the police force. All right, that is it right there for you this morning, dear viewer. Let's go for a break, and when we come back, we still have more for you this morning, as we'll be diving into the dailies that we have in our country, Uganda, the Daily Monitor and the New Vision. We shall be looking into some of the stories that are making headlines in our country, Uganda, and also what is happening out of Uganda this morning. My name is Dennis Oringi, and we are coming to you live from the broadcast house of Westnile Television here on Plot 39 Weather 8 Park Lane, Anyafio, Arua City, Westnile Sub-Region, Northern Uganda, Africa, and the world. Good morning.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region. Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
The Ministry of Health will conduct yellow fever preventive mass vaccination campaign for all persons aged 9 months up to 60 years. These people should have never been vaccinated against yellow fever. The yellow fever campaign will be conducted in phases, with the first phase covering districts in the regions of Arua, Gulu, Lira, Kabare, Kabarore, and Hoima. The campaign will begin on the 9th of June and end on the 13th of June 2023 and will be conducted in all government health facilities and outreach posts. All parents and caregivers are requested to take their children aged 9 months to the nearest health facility and outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever disease. All adults aged up to 60 years but have never been vaccinated should go to health facilities and vaccination outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever. Ministry of Health calls upon everybody to report any person who presents with signs and symptoms such as yellowing of eyes, fever, headache, muscle pain, feeling of vomiting or nausea, vomiting, and general body weakness or fatigue to the nearest health facility or health worker immediately for medical attention. This could be yellow fever. Yellow fever vaccine is a single dose given once in a lifetime. The yellow fever vaccine is safe, effective, and free. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from Gavi and partners.
Get more for less on Star Times this Easter season. Cartoon channel for best children entertainment. New global series. Local drama on Makula TV and football all around the world. Simply make weekly or monthly subscription and enjoy upgrade to the next bouquet. For classic or super bouquet customers, subscribe for a month and enjoy 5 days extra. Family time with Star Times. Star Times is regulated by UCC.
And DJ Jero comes on the floor. Chill. Feel. Every voice.
Tekina kitambana. Nami ndo kitambana. Tekina kitambana. Nami ndo kitambana. Tekina kitambana. Nami ndo kitambana.
Mudonda bakunyumira wano tewanyuma. Tewazena kula pia katimbo. Tonebye kunyumira dekazine. Aluwa kiruze kuwa zinira mu. Lekanzine. Toja zina. Lekanzine. Toja zina. Lekanzine. Toja zina. Wangano zina nda watonywa bia. Amatuki. Atongoku. Amatuki. Atongoku. Amatuki. Atongoku. Ikatuku mini bia yoba.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, we'll be back. You're still watching Westnile Television, 25 minutes past an hour of 8 a.m. right on Westnile Television. My name is Denis Oringi and it's KOKOLIRIKO Live. Let's dive into what we have in the dailies in our country, Uganda, the Daily Monitor, and also the New Vision right this morning. We are starting with the Daily Monitor. Former Member of Parliament Katolu Bwama is dead. And so former Rubaga South Member of Parliament Katolu Bwama is dead. The celebrated Ugandan comedian and a businessman is said to have died of a heart attack at the Stana Medical Center in Bunyamaya in the wee hours of Wednesday morning right there. Lubwama's death was first announced by his business associate, events promoter Andrew Mukasa, alias that is Abajo right there for you. It's quite unfortunate that we have lost him. And he says here, Honorable Katolu Bwama is dead, your former MP is dead. That is what I can say. Bajo announced in a short video clip he shared on his social media platforms before an administrator of Lubwama's Twitter handle at Katwo Lubwama. And so Lubwama served as a legislator in the 10th Parliament before he lost the seat to Aloysius Mukasa in the 2021 general election. On June 9th, 2017, Lubwama was among the 363 people who received the medals from President Museveni during Heroes Day celebrations at St. Augustine Catholic Parish grounds in Zirobwe, Sub-County, Luero District. Lubwama, a Democratic Party member, was recognized for his long-time career in acting and comedy right there. And shortly after getting the medal, Lubwama, a comedian turned politician, said he was happy that President decided to recognize people like him, the actors. And so President Museveni did not give me this medal because of politics. It was in recognition of what I have contributed to this country through acting comedy. And so that is something that you have to know. And so there was a time that Lubwama did say that he brings luck to whatever he works on, so pay for that too. And so that I passed all-level certificate says, Katolu Bwama. There was a time that he was challenged that he did not pass all-level and so that he was not having all-level certificate, and he did say that I possess all-level certificates. And so court also to hear Katolu Bwama academic qualification case, and these are some of the stories that were reported about Katolu Bwama. And he was also quoted to have been fighting what we call a music promoter right there. So those are some of the moments that we can remember him. And so he was a comic guy, a person who has been a comedian in this country, and also an actor who contributed greatly to the entertainment world. And so we shall miss miss him right there. A funny maker, he looks alone, the way he talks, and for those who have access to some of his video clips on social media, you can as well just go. So may his soul rest in the top peace. Remember, all of us, we are on the journey to our final destination, and so we wish him well, and we pray that the Almighty really accord him the eternal rest and let the perpetual light shine upon him right there. And that's what we the Catholics can really tell we can really tell him that may the perpetual light shine upon him right there, and may his soul rest in eternal peace. We shall be keeping you updated about his death on different social media platforms of Westnile Television, and so we shall be able to also closely follow the conversation right there. Dear viewer, you have to know that today President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni will be having the State of Nation address, and this will be at exactly 2 p.m. And so Westnile Television, as one of the media houses that we have in this country, will also be able to broadcast that State of the Nation address live for you wherever you will be catching the State of the Nation address right there. And so remember, there are a number of issues that President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni will be responding to. One is the issues to do with wealth creation. He was able to meet the NRM members of parliament and also ministers at Shamkwanzi for 10 days, and so there were a number of issues that came up right from that side. And also during the time that NRM legislators and ministers were meeting at Shamkwanzi, that was the time that the UPDF soldiers, the UPDF base in Somalia was attacked by suspected Al-Shabaab, and so he will also be able to make some statements in regards to what exactly happened in Somalia, where over 50 soldiers, over 50 UPDF soldiers were gunned down, including that is Lieutenant Colonel Nyororo, who was one of the commanders commanding the base right there. And so issues to do with corruption, the iron sheets. And remember, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has never publicly made a statement in regards to the public in regards to the iron sheets that some ministers have been implicated in. And so we are waiting whether he will be able to say something to do with the corruption in this country. And remember, dear viewer, fighting corruption is our responsibility. We have to join our hands together to fight corruption. And when somebody is fighting corruption, the person should not be taken to be a distractor or somebody who does not love development. And so fighting corruption is our responsibility. We have the money being appropriated in this country. There's a lot of money in this country called Uganda, but the money seems not to be doing what it's supposed to do. And so what are we supposed to do at the sub-county level? I was speaking to some leaders somewhere when I was invited to share with them issues to do with the fighting corruption. I told them that we should begin understanding our sub-county budget before understanding the district budget, and also before understanding the national budget. Once we have understood with our sub-county budget and the work plan of the sub-county, the procurement plan, what is the sub-county planning to do in this financial year? Remember, we are coming to the close of the financial year 2022-2023, and we are starting the next financial year by 1st July. That will be the start of the financial year 2023-2024. And so have we been able to really follow up on the implementation of the budget of the financial year 2022-2023 of our sub-county, of our district? If we have not understood that, and then we have to really get interested in understanding how our sub-counties that we really belong to do appropriate the budget right there before implicating central government on the issues to do with the money that is always appropriated. Very soon we are going to have the reading of the budget here in our country, Uganda, and so this will be in this particular month of June. It is something that I need to let you know, and we shall be able to understand how much has been put aside, budgeted for the financial year 2023-2024, and how this money will be used, which the sector will be taking the lion's share, and how the sector has been performing over the past years. Do we still need to inject more money in that particular sector that continues to take the lion's share? And also issues to do with the parish development model. How much has government of the Republic of Uganda been able to release to support the parish development model program that government of the Republic of Uganda currently is boasting of, because they're looking at the 39% households that are still in subsistence economy. How can they get out of subsistence economy and join the money economy? And so these are the conversations that we should be having at this particular time. So President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, in his State of Nation address today, will be able to highlight on some of those issues that you need to know. And so you have to keenly follow his address today. And so I urge each and every person, when the head of state is speaking, it is important that you should be able to listen to him, because there might be hopes. There might be hope that might come from his communication. You might have lost hope in the way things are done in this country, but when the head of state speaks to you, you will be able to have that hope back again. And so that is something I need to bring to your attention right this morning. So, dear viewer, let's get to other stories that we have in the division in the Daily Monitor. This morning is that policeman shot dead as suspected Pokot warriors raid Nakapiripirit. It's also another sad story that we are having right this morning here. A Uganda police officer was on Tuesday shot dead in Nakapiripirit district in the respective Karamoja sub-region by suspected cattle rustlers from Kenya, local authorities said. And so Police Constable Raphael Opio Akol, attached to Nakapiripirit Central Police Station, was shot and killed in an ambush allegedly staged by suspected Pokot warriors there. And so Mount Moroto Region Police spokesperson, that is Mike Longole, said the police officer was killed at around 11 p.m. And so quoting him, saying that the Uganda People's Defense Force soldiers responding to the incident set up another ambush, successfully neutralizing one warrior. So they also recovered a bow and 6 arrows from the scene. That's according to Longole, who made a statement yesterday right there. So he said the Nakapiripirit District Police Commander, along with the investigations team, visited the scene of the officers shooting and recovered 2 cartridges of the guns right there. So the police publicist said the body of Constable Opio will be transported to Moroto Regional Referral Hospital for a postmortem examination as inquiries into the incident continue. Last Thursday, a joint security operation by UPDF and police killed 2 suspected Karamojong warriors after they raided 220 head of cattle from Nakunyon village, Namulu sub-county in Nakapiripirit district, and that is something that you need to know right that side of Karamoja region. The Pokot continues to raid the cattle in Karamoja region. Remember, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni in his executive orders 2 weeks ago was able also to make statement in regards to the actions of the Pokot and also the actions of those rustlers who moved from Kenya into Uganda to terrorize the people in Karamoja. And he did say that the government of Kenya should be able to hand over the people who are suspected to have killed the geologists who were doing their work in Karamoja region, and not only returning the guns that were handed over to Uganda authority. The President of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, wants those who participated in the killing of the 3 geologists to be really handed over and prosecuted right there for you. And so let's have more story from that is the Daily Monitor today here. Kayunga medical staff demand IGG intervention over delayed promotions, and that means that there are very many staff of Kayunga hospital who are not being promoted, and so they are really requesting the IGG to intervene and get to understand why they are not being promoted right there. So a section of long-serving medical staff at Kayunga Regional Referral Hospital have asked the Inspectorate of Government to investigate a selective system of promotions of workers. So the aggrieved medical staff at the health facility in Kayunga district on Tuesday said that many of them have worked at the facility for more than 20 years and were due for promotion. And quoting that is Dr. Francis Kakoza, who also formerly served as an acting medical superintendent at the facility, he says, when the hospital was elevated to a regional referral status, we thought our prayers for getting promoted had come, but we were informed that they cannot promote us because there was no wage bill, and so that is what is coming through right there. And so, however, to our surprise, most of the posts have been filled with the newly promoted external staff who have filled our post right there. And so, by working for the local government, a medical work is supervised by the district and can only be transferred within that particular district, unlike when a civil servant is under the central government, when he or she can be transferred to work in any that is a part of the country, authorities indicate. And so that is something that you need to know in regards to the promotion of the health workers. Remember, yesterday I was able to bring to your attention a story where a nurse wrote a suicide note and left behind that they should be able to ask the district of one of the districts, I think, in the eastern part of this country, to explain to her people why he decided to lock the children inside and also decided to disappear simply because of promotion. Somebody has worked for 10 years and the person is not being promoted. Even if the person applies, the person is not being, invited for interview, and so this really affected the nurse, making her to really leave a suicide note behind. And police is investigating and also finding more about the whereabouts of the nurse right there. So the issues to do with psychological support and also promotions of the government workers in our country, Uganda, need to be looked into seriously right there. Global economic growth has slowed sharply. That's according to World Bank. Is what you need to know, that the global economic growth has really slowed down sharply is what you need to know. The World Bank Group has expressed concern that global economic growth has slowed sharply and the risk of financial stress in emerging markets and developing countries is intensifying amid elevated global interest rates right there. And so in its latest global economic prospects report released on Tuesday, the World Bank said global growth is projected to decelerate from 3.1% in that is 2022 to 2.1% in 2023. In emerging markets and developing economies other than China, growth is set to slow to 2.9% this year from 4.1% last year. So these forecasts reflect broad-based downgrades economic experts suggest right there. So according to the World Bank, the effects of global economic growth slow down will spill over into the sub-Saharan African region where Uganda lies in the form of slower economic growth rate, slowdown in commodity exports and tight financial markets. High interest rate growth in sub-Saharan Africa is expected to be at 3.2% before picking up to 3.9% in 2024 is what you need to know. For the economists, you understand what we are talking about here, that issues to do with the financial crisis will be able to hit the countries within the sub-Saharan Africa. And so Uganda is one of the countries within the sub-Saharan Africa that will be affected by this particular economic growth that we are talking about here. Issues to do with the finances, you have to know the interest rate will be very high, and so if you want to borrow, this will really affect your borrowing, and also the different commercial institutions will be charging highly when it comes to the interest rate of the money that somebody will be borrowing from them right there. And so that speaks volume in regards to the challenges that lie ahead of us, that we need to see how we can really cope up with these challenges. As the Africans, we have to get to the garden, and for those who are participating in agricultural activities, we do appreciate you very much. As you grow crops, you will be able to make a lot of money, because life will be a little bit complicated and tricky because of the shortfalls in the economic financial projection, as World Bank has been able to put it right here. And so away from the issues to do with economic growth globally, let's get to pre-medical interns. Give government one-day ultimatum to redeploy them different hospitals that we have in this country, Uganda. And so over 2,000 pre-medical interns have issued the Ministry of Health a one-day ultimatum to urgently release an official communication about the status of their pending deployment in Uganda hospitals. And so the current cohort was expected to be deployed in hospitals by April 3rd, according to the pre-medical interns. However, the ministry had financial constraints, hence the delay right there. And so quoting verbatim, saying that we have given the Ministry of Health 24 hours from June 6th to respond to our demands, and if they fail, we as leaders of pre-medical interns shall go back and consult all colleagues to decide on what next. Alex Loswata, one of the pre-medical interns, said while addressing journalists at Galloway House, Mulago in Kampala yesterday. And so Loswata said after a cabinet engagement and decision to deploy medical interns on May 15th, they have been trying to engage different government agencies and ministries, including the Ministry of Health and Ministry of Finance, but none of them has ever responded to their plight right there. So in addition, they say that they asked Parliament Speaker Anita Mong and President Museveni to directly intervene and follow up on their directives to ensure allocation of funds to pay allowances of all deployed medical interns right there. And so we believe that maybe President Museveni will be able to have a mention of this particular issue of the pre-medical interns who are supposed to be deployed. Up to now, they have not been deployed, and these are the next doctors who are supposed to be working in the different government hospitals that we have in this country, Uganda. And so the delay by Minister of Finance and delay by Minister of Health to really deploy these pre-medical interns will really be a very big setback to the health sector of this country. Remember, previously there was some Uganda health exhibitions that were really taking place, and so if all these pre-medical interns are not really deployed in different hospitals that we have in this country, Uganda, it will be really a very big setback. And so I believe that the Minister of Finance and Minister of Health, together with the cabinet, will be able to sit down and harmonize on this, and likely President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni might also be able to have a mention of the issues to do with the pre-medical interns who have not yet been deployed because of the financial constraint, as it has been communicated by Minister of Health today, as he will be having the State of Nation address right there at Kololo, where he always have his State of Nation address right there. Let's get more story right here that you have to know that Kenya repatriates to Uganda over 1,600 fleeing Congolese refugees who had crossed to Uganda and moved to Kenya. So government of Kenya, because for them they don't have friendly refugee policy, they decided to repatriate these Congolese back to Uganda. Over 1,600 Congolese refugees have been repatriated back to Uganda, and yesterday they were really delivered in Tororo, and the government of the Republic of Uganda through the Office of the Prime Minister arranged for transport means to really pick them up and take them to the gazetted refugee settlements that we have in this country, Uganda. Come to West Nile. You have to know that West Nile is one of the biggest hosting refugee regions that we have in this country, Uganda. And also if you go to the western part of this country, where we have settlements that are really accommodating the refugees from the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Not forgetting also Biale, that is in Chiradongo district, is also one of the areas hosting great number of refugees. My first time when I was going to Kampala, and so I thought that Biale is more developed than Arua. It was until I was told that structures that you're seeing belong to refugees, and so Biale is also one of the settlements that we have in our country, Uganda, hosting great number of refugees. And Biale refugee settlement is one of the oldest refugee settlements that we have also in our country, Uganda. I can remember during the LRA insurgency, number of the Acholi and also the Langi and also the Teso, they had to really take refuge in Biale under what we call the internally displaced camps right there. And so because of that, the settlements have remained and still continue to accommodate more refugees that are really coming into this country, Uganda. So another story, a quick mention here: security guard detained over shooting man in Kampala. The issue of shooting in our country, Uganda, is really becoming alarming, and I do not know what will really happen. I do not know what President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni will be able to say in regards to the shooting, different shootings that have really happened in our country, Uganda. Goons beat Bukede LC5 aspirant at the Electoral Commission offices. I think this story is really trying to beat my understanding. You have to know that about 50 goons, as reported by Daily Monitor Tuesday yesterday, beat up an independent aspirant in Bukede Electoral Commission offices and made off with his crucial electoral documents as he walked in for nomination. It's quite unfortunate right there. Remember, yesterday the same aspirant was able to accuse some police officers for really removing from him over 160 million that he had really served for campaigns. And so I do not know whether these stories are all true or they're just trying to look for sympathy votes right there from the people of Bukede. We wait to follow the political landscape, the political games that will be played right there in Bukede, LC5 by election right there. And so a student who spent decades in Ugandan refugee camp lands that is 890 million scholarship is also another good story for you right there. And then also you have to know that Museveni lauds Catholic Church for job creation as Uganda Catholic Television launched. Is the story that you have to know. That good news for the Catholics that Uganda Catholic Television has officially been launched. Remember, the first launch was done during the Uganda Matters Day commemoration at the Catholic Shrine in Namugongo, Wakiso district right there. And so yesterday, the Minister of ICT, that is Chris Bermozi, was able to officially also launch the television, the studio aspect, and also other things that you need to know, and you will be able to get more news in regards to that. what you have to do right there. Dear viewer, let's go for a break, and when we come back, I will be diving into some of the stories that we have in the New Vision this morning. My name is Denis Oringi, and it is KOKOLIRIKO Live on Westnile Television. Good morning.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
The Ministry of Health will conduct yellow fever preventive mass vaccination campaign for all persons aged 9 months up to 60 years. These people should have never been vaccinated against yellow fever. The yellow fever campaign will be conducted in phases, with the first phase covering districts in the regions of Arua, Gulu, Lira, Kabare, Kabarore, and Hoima. The campaign will begin on the 9th of June and end on the 13th of June 2023 and will be conducted in all government health facilities and outreach posts. All parents and caregivers are requested to take their children aged 9 months to the nearest health facility and outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever disease. All adults aged up to 60 years but have never been vaccinated should go to health facilities and vaccination outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever. Ministry of Health calls upon everybody to report any person who presents with signs and symptoms such as yellowing of eyes, fever, headache, muscle pain, feeling of vomiting or nausea, vomiting, and general body weakness or fatigue to the nearest health facility or health worker immediately for medical attention. This could be yellow fever. Yellow fever vaccine is a single dose given once in a lifetime. The yellow fever vaccine is safe, effective, and free. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from Gavi and partners.
More for less on Star Times this Easter season. Cartoon channel for best children entertainment. New global series. Local drama on Makula TV and football all around the world. Simply make weekly or monthly subscription and enjoy upgrade to the next bouquet. For classic or super bouquet customers, subscribe for a month and enjoy 5 days extra. Family time with Star Times. Star Times is regulated by UCC.
And DJ Zero comes on the floor. Chill. Feel. Give me a price.
Tekina kitambana. Nami ndo kitambana. Tekina kitambana. Nami ndo kitambana. Tekina kitambana. Nami ndo kitambana.
Mudonda bakunyumira wano tewanyuma. Kaze na kula pia kati mwe. Tonde kunyumira dekanzine. Aluwa kiruze kuba zinira mu. Dekanzine. Toja zina. Dekanzine. Toja zina. Dekanzine. Toja zina. Wangano zina ndawa tonywa bia. Amatuki. Atongoku. Amatuki. Atongoku. Amatuki. Atongoku. Ikatuku mini bia yoba.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
Yes. All right, well, we're back. You're still watching Westnile Television. We do appreciate you very much for joining us this morning. Let's dive into what we have in the new vision this morning. You have to know that 3 Hoima Service Commission members are remanded. Yesterday, I was telling you issues to do with the District Service Commission when it comes to offering job and also giving opportunities for those who are qualified to work. And so the issue of the 3 Hoima Service Commission members is a very serious matter here. Court had that between March of 2023 and May 2023, while at Hoima City Council, the 3 suspects unlawfully altered the scores of applicants for different job positions. Oh, the move to follow the officials being charged with the 13 counts of forgery and conspiracy to commit a felony. Service Commission Chairperson, who is also former Hoima Town Clerk, Amir Samo, and Commission members businessman Donald Bakire Bategeka and retired Education Ministry Commissioner Ibrahim Bigagwa were arrested on Monday last week by the State House Anti-Corruption Unit together with Hoima Police on allegations of altering results for recently held interviews to fill vacant positions in the city. However, they were later released on police bond right there. They appeared before Hoima Chief Magistrate Court, presided over by Chief Magistrate George Fitundita, after they were rearrested from Kampala, where they had gone to report themselves as their police bond stipulates. And so, for those who have issues to do with the conduct of the District Service Commission, the City Service Commissions that we do have in this country, you can as well lodge your complaints with the State House Anti-Corruption Unit that we have in this country. Remember, in this country, Uganda. Remember, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni during the NRM Day celebration that was in Chikube. Yeah, he says, I hear that they are giving jobs, they're sleeping with people's daughter. And so whoever has evidence should report. And so the State House Anti-Corruption Unit is doing its part in really seeing that those that are implicated, suspected, who have involved in such act are arrested. And I know yesterday there was a story that also aired from Marasha District, where the District Council of Marasha has resolved that the District Service Commission of Marasha District need to be investigated by the anti-corruption units that we have in this country, Uganda. So we are waiting whether the district resolution will be acted upon right there. Let's have more of the new vision this morning before diving into what we have in the world of sports this morning. What do we have from the new vision this morning? A quick one. You have to know that Abagaya clan start mobilizing for King Oyo's coronation. This was another story. And then also another story in the new vision is that 51 Ugandans to get medals on Heroes Day. Very soon we are going to have Heroes Day. For those who know the date, I will be telling you. You have to know the 9th of June is when Uganda celebrates Heroes Day right there. She Cranes received, that is 900 million for World Cup preparation. Is also another good story that you need to know. Let's get to the world news from the new vision here. Is that Trump for Christie launches a presidential run right there. The former U.S. President Christie said, always find someone else and something else to blame for whatever goes wrong, but finds every reason to take credit for anything that goes right. I love this. Always finds someone else and something else to blame for whatever goes wrong, but finds every reason to take credit for anything that goes right there. And so Christie, who filed his paperwork with the Federal Electoral Commission before an evening announcement in Manchester, New Hampshire, presents a novel challenge as the only Republican contender so far willing to land genuinely damaging blows on the former president. The 60-year-old Newark natives came 16 New Hampshire 7 years ago and eventually endorsed Trump's, serving as the key advisors before the pair fell out over the tycoon's refusal to accept his 2020 election defeat right there. And so that's one of the international stories that you can really know in regards to the preparations ahead of the U.S. election in 2024 next year. And so as Westnile Television, we shall keep you updated on the candidates who are vying for the U.S. presidency right there in United States of America. And then also Prince Harry's past drug use at issue in U.S. visa case is also another story that you need to know, that this is a case about Prince Harry. Samuel Dewey, a lawyer for the Heritage Foundation, said at the hearing, but it's truly about DAS and its compliance right there. Pope in hospital for checkup, Italian media has reported right there. And so you need to know more about this particular story. Pope Francis visited a Rome hospital for a medical checkup on Tuesday, according to the Italian media. just over 2 months after he was hospitalized with bronchitis. The 86-year-old Pope arrived at the Gemelli Hospital's geriatric unit for test at 10:40 a.m. That is 8:40 GMT, and left again at 11:20 a.m. according to ANSA and AGI news agencies right there. So neither the Vatican nor the hospital was immediately able to confirm the news AFP right there. Francis was forced to take a day off at the end of last month with a fever, which the Vatican Secretary of State blamed on tiredness. So the Pope doesn't have public audiences scheduled on Tuesdays. His general audience at the Vatican was confirmed for Wednesday today, according to his official schedule. And so Tuesday's checkup was a planned one, the Republican newspaper said, citing a Vatican source, and the Pontiff was undergoing specialized scans, it is said. So when Francis was hospitalized at the end of March, the Vatican initially said in a one-line statement that he had gone into the Gemelli for health checks that were previously scheduled. So it later emerged that he had been rushed in after suffering breathing difficulties right there. And so that is what the Catholics can also know, and also the whole world know about news coming through from Vatican about Pope going for medical checkup in one of the hospitals that is in Vatican right there. Let's get to sport. And what do we have in the world of sports this morning? You have to know that Benzema signs for Saudi Arabia's Al Ittihad is the news that you need to know right there. Finally, Karim Benzema has been signed by Saudi Arabia's Al Ittihad. It's a new club that Karim Benzema has gone to join. And so Real Madrid's Ballon d'Or winner Karim Benzema will join Cristiano Ronaldo in Saudi Arabia after signing a 3-year deal with Al Ittihad, the Jeddah-based club, confirmed on Tuesday. And so Benzema is here. A new trigger, a new tiger with roar. Welcome to Ittihad, the club wrote on Twitter. And so Benzema will join his former Real Madrid teammate Ronaldo in the Gulf Kingdom after the 5-time World Player of the Year moved to Al Nassr from Manchester United following last year's World Cup. And so Lionel Messi, who is leaving Paris Saint-Germain after 2 seasons, has also been linked with the move to Saudi Arabia. Senior officials from another Saudi Arabian club, Al Hilal, have flown to France to try and seal a deal for Messi after the 35-year-old Argentine played his last game for PSG at the weekend. 2 sources with knowledge of the matter said on Sunday. And so Saudi delegation plans to meet Messi's father and agent George with the aiming of completing the signing as soon as possible. The announcement regarding Benzema comes this after Real Madrid said that the 35-year-old Benzema was leaving the club after 14 seasons, the day after coach Carlo Ancelotti had insisted there was no doubt Benzema's future was in the Spanish capital. Benzema joined Madrid in 2009 from League One side Lyon right there for you. And so that's something that you need to know in the world of soccer. And so remember, over the weekend on Saturday we shall be able to see Manchester City taking on Inter Milan in the UEFA Champions final right there. But you need to know that Guardiola wants Man City against Champions League final. Arrogance is something that is trending also in the world of sports this morning. Pep Guardiola has warned his Manchester City stars that their confidence ahead of the Champions League final, against Inter Milan cannot slip into arrogance as they aim to complete a historic treble right there. And so Guardiola's men are on game away from becoming just the second side to win the Premier League, Champions League and FA Cup in the same season. City are huge favorites for the clash in the Istanbul on Saturday, having trashed Bayern Munich and Real Madrid en route to the final. And so by contrast, Inter finished a distant third in Serie A and enjoyed a less damaging passage to the final as they beat Porto, Benfica and AC Milan. And so, however, the Italians boast the richer European club heritage with 3 triumphs to City's none, and Guardiola has urged his team not to become complacent. And so, of course, we are confident, so optimistic, but at the same time, I cannot deny the difficulties and qualities of the opponents, said Guardiola at City's pre-match media day on Tuesday yesterday. And so he continues to say, have never done it, and especially in the final of the Champions League. City remains on course to match the treble achievement of Manchester United's class of 1998-1999 by beating the Red Devils 2-1 in the FA Cup final on that is Saturday. And so Gadola said that was a far better preparation for the Champions League final than their only previous appearance in the European showpiece 2 years when his side lost 1-0 against Chelsea in Porto, but he insisted that City's standing form in the past 4 months will count for nothing when it comes to getting the job done at the Atatürk Stadium right there. Dear viewer, with that we have come to the end of the sports updates right this morning in the program, the KOKOLIRIKO Live. Remember, at exactly 2 we shall be able to have President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni addressing the nation in his State of Nation address right there. That means that whistle time might be affected, and we do apologize to the sports lover that we might not be able to have whistle time because of the State of Nation address by the President of the Republic of Uganda, and it is mandatory that all the media houses that we have in this country, Uganda, should be able to broadcast so that each and every citizen of this country is able to listen to the head of state right there. And so do not forget, at exactly 7 p.m. news hour will be coming through the Nilecast with Christine Okumuringa, as we shall be able to give you some of the stories that the newsroom will be working on in the due course of the day. Thank you very much for being with us, and your afternoon. Up next will be the Business Bank with Maurice Eriko, who will be telling us what is happening in the world of business, how are people really prospering in the business world. And do not forget, other programs will also be able to follow suit. Remember the Northern Request that will be right there, so you can drop in your request and the songs will be played right there on your screen. And do not forget, from 1 to 2 we shall be able to have MC Sarge with the program The Street Talk, as he interacts with the people in the streets of Arua and any streets that we have in Western region, because we have the fecundity to reach any streets that we have in this region, West Nile, and even beyond West Nile. My name is Dennis Oringi. Thank you very much for being with me for today's show. Catch me again tomorrow for the Thursday edition of the program, the KOKOLIRIKO Live on Westnile Television. Good morning.